Hey guys, this is Crypto with James talking to you today about the crypto news, along with an interesting piece of information regarding NFTs and the trend in terms of the price and sales. Um, Not surprising, but it's worth noting if you're ever entering that NFT space. Um, and we'll talk about what's happening in the market. Before I do, as always, I update the spreadsheet. These are the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel that I thought would crush it in this bull cycle. Had you invested $100 to each one when I release the videos, you'd be in profit for $81,700. And in the 2600, sitting on $84,300. I've held them all at one point or another, closed positions, and I'm all in profit, all except Grin. And reinvested all that money into new cryptos. If you want to see the cryptos that I'm in right now, check out Copy My Cryptos, where I share my live portfolio. One I've built to maximize gains during this bull cycle, one that keeps outperforming the market week in and week out, and the one that is primed for some explosive gains. And if you want to be a part of that, then you can check it out. But I always say this, the bear cycle is where the money is made. The bear cycle is where you make your FU money, your retirement money. And you better believe when that bear cycle kicks in, I'll be finding those coins that are 100x, 200x, 300x. I'll be finding another Phantom. Phantom was the Udemy course where I said it'd be the best investment of the year. It's up 536 times in value. I found it during the bear cycle, and I will be finding more. So if you want to be a part of it, check it out, because the bear cycle will come soon. Anyway, market's looking bloody hot. Bitcoin took some nice ground over the last 24 hours. Ethereum had new all-time highs. Polkadot, new all-time highs. Market's just really hot right now. November looks, if yesterday was any indication of how the market's going to be throughout this cycle, throughout November, I think we're all going to be very, 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 very happy. So yeah, just keep an eye on your coins, and this is one of those months where you probably will enjoy looking at your portfolio constantly. All right, let's talk about some news. So Kleiman versus Wright is Bitcoin's trial of the century. So that kicks off in Miami. Basically, at stake is Satoshi Nakamoto's 1.1 billion Bitcoin, or million Bitcoin, sorry. Craig Wright has claimed for a very long time that he is in fact Satoshi Nakamoto. The lawsuit posts that Wright didn't act alone, according to Ira Kleiman. His late brother David Kleiman, a fellow computer expert and longtime friend of Wright, was the co-creator of Bitcoin and is entitled to a share of a trove of Bitcoin currently valued at $66 billion. It's not bad, is it? Suit alleges that David Kleiman and Wright formed a partnership and established an entity called W&K Info Defense Research LLC that they used to mine Bitcoin and organize their intellectual property, including the Bitcoin source code. Now, obviously, this is going to be an interesting one. Wright has always claimed that he is in fact Satoshi Nakamoto. As it stands, it appears that Kleiman was the guy that was pretty much responsible for doing all of the mining of the Bitcoins. So if the jury finds in favor of the plaintiffs and Ira, Kleiman is awarded the brother's share of Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin. The question remains whether the court has any way of retrieving them. The unsolved mystery of Satoshi Nakamoto's identity and Wright's seeming inability to retrieve the coins in his wallet mean that recovering the coins may not be possible if Wright is not Satoshi, or if he is and has somehow lost access to the wallet. It's unclear how Kleiman would get his hands on half the stash anyway. This is basically a trial that's mainly for reputation. Certainly from Wright's point. From Kleiman's point, I think it's an acknowledgement of his brother's work, along with getting the money that his brother deserved. But we'll see how it plays out. It's not going to, I can't imagine it will overly impact the market unless those Bitcoins are retrieved and they're dumped. But we'll see. Ubisoft are getting into blockchain. Now, this is big news. Ubisoft is announcing plans to develop blockchain games. They've realized that there is a real need for play-to-earn NFT blockchain games, and they have announced their intention to develop them. Now, if you're unfamiliar, Ubisoft are behind some massive games. Ubisoft's net worth is $6.53 billion. And the games that they have produced are like Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Tom Clancy's can't say Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Assassin's Creed. You know, they're behind Final Fantasies. They're behind some beasts of games. They've got an incredible amount of value on their company. This bodes really well for not just blockchain space, because blockchain game developers will obviously be excited about this. Investors in blockchain games will be excited about this. Yeah, it's big news. It's big news. It's nothing to sniff at, and this it'll be interesting to see how they can integrate potentially NFT, like blockchain games and NFT based games, into potentially your Windows, your Xbox, your Nintendo, PlayStation. If they can do that, the blockchain games are going to continue to explode. And I've said that for a while. I've always said that the two biggest game areas, or the three biggest sections that I think are set to grow over the next sort of decade, particularly within crypto and within blockchains, are gaming, insurance, because it has to. It's not exciting, but it has to, because institutions want coverage, and artificial intelligence. And those three sectors are going to explode over the next 10 years. And it's something to keep in. I mean, gaming's, we've not even touched the surface of it in blockchain games. Not even touched the surface. And when you start to see massive developers getting in on this space, it's set to be a fairly exciting time particularly if you're a game developer. The last bit I want to talk about is this. So this is actually an interesting article, and it's basically an analysis of social media, NFT hype, and the sales that occur. And unsurprisingly, but it's worth noting, because if you're an investor in NFTs, this is actually useful information. So after evaluating 31,000 NFT-related posts on subreddits and over 3,000 headlines for mentions of NFTs, the team at Gambler's Pick reported some thought-provoking insights. Bit of a push. The report showed that the popularity of NFTs across online communities can be correlated to sale numbers in March and April. As I said, it doesn't take a genius to recognise that the coverage following the famous Christie auctions that saw Beeple sell his NFT for 69 million would reach the masses. This increase in interest for NFTs was reflected on social platforms and online platforms. Reddit saw a surge in NFT-related posts the same week to 3,500. There's a generally very positive sentiment towards NFTs in online communities, with only 12% effectively showing negative feelings towards them. NBA Top Shot collection receives the most positive mentions, and OpenSea receives the most mentions overall. The NFT marketplace reached a colossal surge of $4 billion in sale volume throughout the month of August. So no surprise that the community hype and media mentions are the largest for this platform. So the main point that they were getting across was that when looking at the hype had direct positive correlation with the number of sales. Fairly obvious, because hype drives sales. But within that, what should be worth noting is that hype around projects drove sales. So if you are in NFTs early, or in a particular NFT early, and that community can drive a market forward and can push the agenda and can push the awareness of the NFTs that they're associated with forward, it does correlate positively with sales. And if it's doing positive correlation with sales, it does mean that the floor price for the NFTs rises. So if you are entering into the NFT space, the community is probably the most important thing. Beyond obviously the NFT characteristics, what the NFT actually provides in terms of potentially an in-game service or staking potential, aside from the tokenomics, let's say, of what or the characteristics that the NFT has, because obviously that's important. It has a use case beyond it being necessarily a beautiful piece of art or a beautiful caricature or whatever it is, right? The most important thing is the community. And I'm not talking about shilling it everywhere you can possibly shill it, but if there is really positive attention being drawn to it on multiple platforms, and if the community are pushing awareness well, that correlation, that does provide positive correlation for sales, sale floor rises, and then inevitably money is made for anyone holding those NFTs. So bear that in mind, guys. It's just an interesting little piece. It's nothing surprising, but it should reiterate to everyone how important a community is. If you're in a community of crypto community and it's passionate and it's believes in the project, the team believe in the project, and there's that sense of community within it, it drives the project forward, and it is important. That's it from me. It's just a general news update. Big news about the Ubisoft stuff as well. That's really big for anyone in game development. And if you're new to crypto, check out Copy My Crypto. Like I said, this is where I share my life portfolio, the one I've built to maximize gains during the bull cycle. The one is outperforming the market week in and week out, and the one where you better believe my biggest holders are primed for some explosive gains. And if you want to be a part of it, you can check it out. But I will always reiterate this. The bear cycle's coming. If you're new to crypto, this parabolic run can't go forever. And when it crashes, and it's a when, it's not an if, but when it crashes, that's where the retirement money is made. That's where the life-changing money is made. And that's where you can find cryptos that are so undervalued for what they offer. It's where I found Phantom. And it's where I'll find more. And if you want to learn about them, I'll be sharing it on Copy My Crypto. Take care. Bye-bye.